achievement that began with her winning the Academy Award for Johnny Belinda, the popular Warner Brothers star now wins the coveted Photoplay magazine gold medal. This annual award to the actress giving the most popular performance of the year is made after a poll of the people who know the stars best. You, the motion picture goers of the nation. And now, Photoplay's Fred Samus makes the presentation.
Congratulations, Jane. It is a great honor to present you with Photoplay's token of public esteem.
Thanks to you, Fred, and to Photoplay magazine, and to everyone. I'm deeply grateful. Thank you.
When Detective Smith was called backstage to investigate the Inwood murder, it looked like a rather routine affair. He hardly expected it to lead to the most dangerous adventure of his life, romance. The case presented a few clues and a few bodies. A very dead body, a very heavenly body, a very suspicious body, and finally a very charming busybody who started out by getting tangled in the strings of the mystery and finished by getting tied up in the strings of his heart.
Taking all the trouble to protect my reputation, covering up the accident, destroying that dreadful dress.
I didn't destroy it. So long as I have the dress, I'm the one who decides how long this show will run. And everything else. Do you understand?
You fool! There goes evidence that could have helped you.
Well, you're not to say things against Charlotte. I'm doing all this for her sake. You're just jealous of her.
Let them say, if they like, it's satirical.
This sounds to me remarkably like blackmail. I think I'd better call the police.
Yes, do call the police, Miss Inwood. We'll talk to them together.
Who are you?
The New York Times called it tingling with excitement.
The Detroit News said it's the best crime play in years.
The London Daily Mail headlined, "A murder thriller with a difference."
The New York Daily Mirror wrote, "It holds your attention like a vice."
Where's the nearest police station?
What could you tell them?
I should simply tell them that you're trying to blackmail me into murdering your wife.
Fantastic, isn't it? But you know he's right, don't you, Tony? You've worked it out to the smallest detail. And this man is to be your murder weapon for the perfect crime. And you, Margot, you've been living dangerously, too dangerously. A married woman with a two-party line to your affections. And Mark, ironic, isn't it? That in this design for death, you should be selected to be the perfect alibi for the murder of the woman you love.
Are you ever going to tell Tony about us?
No. I couldn't possibly tell him. Not now.
There is evidence, however, that he was blackmailing you.
Blackmail?
Yes, I'm afraid it's true, Tony.
And you suggest that he came in by the window. And we know that he came in by that door.
But he can't have come in that way. That door was locked.
You could have let him in.
Hello? Hello?
how do you do? My name is Alfred Hitchcock, and I would like to tell you about my forthcoming lecture. It is about the birds and their age-long relationship with man. It will be seen in theaters like this across the country. In my lecture, I hope to make you all aware of our good friends, the birds. Theirs is a noble history, and through it all, man has played a conspicuous part. This cave drawing is one of man's earliest sketches of his feathered friend. One can see at once the loving care with which the artist depicted his subject. The story of man and his friends, the birds, is filled with many fine examples of ways in which these noble creatures have added to the beauty of the world. Take this plumed hat from the period of Charles I. How proud the birds must have been to have their feathers plucked out to brighten man's drab life. Here we have a later model, a refinement of the first. Here man, or rather woman, thought enough of the birds to have an entire one as a decoration. It's quite dead, of course. Naturally, the egg plays a very prominent part in my lecture. Not a word about which came first, however. I don't believe in dealing with controversial matters. Thousands of years ago, man was satisfied merely to steal an egg from a nest and use it for food. Now he has perfected this process by imprisoning each hen in a separate cage and by scientifically manipulating doesn't fall into the rut of the old 24-hour day. Thus, he can induce the bird to reach fantastic heights of egg production. Originally, there were many varieties of birds on Earth. Some have become extinct. The great auk, the passenger pigeon, and the famous dodo bird have all disappeared. Actually, they didn't exactly disappear. They were simply killed off. But of course, this is nature's way. Man merely hurries the process along whenever he can be of help. Man and birds have been responsible for a great many advances in our civilization. For example, the bird was the inspiration for the invention of gunpowder, and it was his speed that brought about the development of the shotgun. But man has not been unmindful of his debt to the bird. We have honored our feathered friends in many ways. We cage birds and show them off proudly in most of our zoos. And the turkey is traditionally our guest of honor at Thanksgiving. I suspect you never realized that if it weren't for birds, even some of our pastimes would suffer noticeably. Duck hunting, for example. Granted, bagging a fellow hunter can be diverting, but the supply is rather limited. I hope you don't mind if I have something to eat, but I'm rushed today. Planning the lecture has been most educational for me. I've begun to feel very close to the birds and have developed a real sympathy for our little... What was I saying? Oh, yes. I've come to feel very close to the birds and have come to realize how they feel when... I don't think I'll eat just now. Hardly proper with all of you here. Surely the birds appreciate all we've done for them. Don't you? Beautiful cage, fresh water, no other birds to bother you, none of that blinding sunlight. Oh! Now, why would he do that? Most peculiar. What on earth?